let's figure this all out as the reality of the event has sunk in. The Toronto Raptors started the day with hope more than expectation as to results of the NBA draft lottery, but unfortunately, it does not come off, and the Raptors will be selecting with the 19th overall pick and 31st overall pick in the 2024 draft, but they will not have a top 6 pick. Let's just kind of go through everything involved in this saga and what this means for the team going forward, because there still are some pros associated with this. The Amateur Hour Production Network is dedicated to Toronto Raptors content. We do videos and we also do live streams, which go long on the main channel. So to make it easier for you guys to watch and to digest, we have the Amateur Hour Clips channel. We're going to take the best highlights and segments from those live streams on Amateur Hour Sports and put them right here for you to enjoy. So if you like what you see along the way, make sure you do hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel as well. With so much consistent content coming out as well as post-game shows during the season, you're not going to want to miss out. So for starters, I'm disappointed here, but I want to start this off by saying that I am not going to put any anger towards the Raptors for the tank. The tank was the right move by the team. The Raptors gave themselves a 45.8% chance at keeping their pick. They gave themselves a 9% chance of drafting first overall. As we saw, the Atlanta Hawks, with just a 3% chance, have ended up with the first overall pick in this draft. They started the day with about 12% chance, 11% chance even, of even ending up in the top 4. They get the top pick. That's the NBA draft lottery. You know, the Raptors rolled the dice. They decided that a 45.8% chance of keeping your pick was a higher percentage chance than the Raptors had of making the playoffs. And based on the way the season went down, based on the way everything spun out of control, that was a safe bet to say they probably were not making the playoffs. So they gave themselves a chance here. They gave themselves an opportunity with the draft, and it didn't come off. But, you know, I don't want to critique in hindsight here. It was seemingly the right move for the team to go with. Again, it just didn't come off. Shout out to Phoenix Plays in chat for sending in a super chat saying, it's okay, this draft was trash anyways. I'm coping. Yes. Well, as much as it's trash, always an opportunity to find talent, they said. I would have preferred to keep the pick. As it is, though, the Raptors, the odds do not go in their favor this time. Last time they were in a position like this, they did move into the top 4. Got that 4th overall pick and, of course, selected Scotty Barnes. But the Raptors got bumped out. Houston move up into 3rd. Atlanta move up into 1. That bumps teams down a couple pegs. So the Raptors go from 6 to 8. And the pick conveys now to the San Antonio Spurs. As far as the San Antonio Spurs in this whole ordeal, yeah, they got to look at that trade and think they made off like bandits, man. Jakob Poeltl as a super chat coming through. Thank you again to Phoenix for that. Sorry, didn't mean to cut it off there. Jakob Poeltl, who was on an expiring contract at the 2023 NBA trade deadline. The Spurs move him for a salary dump, Khem Birch, who was expiring anyways. They move for a second-round pick, and now what has become the 8th overall pick. In, you know, a lesser draft for sure, but an 8th overall pick, a second-round pick for Jakob Poeltl. And that's a year after they traded Thaddeus Young for a first-round pick from the Raptors. They got to feel like they've done some tremendous business with Toronto and will maybe be looking to do more here. So my animosity towards this, my disappointment for this, doesn't come at the decision to go for a tank for the Raptors. What this does come from, and what, you know, a bit of anger will come from, is once again the decision not to trade for Jakob Poeltl necessarily in the sense that you've got a starting caliber center who's with your team now for 4 years at $80 million, 3 more years for Jakob Poeltl, $20 million a year. So my anger isn't exactly the value for that trade. It's the fact that the Raptors invested in a team that we clearly had the understanding wasn't really going anywhere, and a core that wasn't really going anywhere, and they put further investment into that. And not that that's necessarily a terrible thing to do, putting investment in that core with, you had good players. You had Van Vliet, Anunoby, Siakam, Barnes. But Toronto on a year-to-year basis finds it difficult, maybe more so than a lot of other teams, to build up their team. But one thing that Masai Ujiri's era with Toronto has done so successfully, other than, a couple blemishes, of course, Bruno, Malkai, but what they have done so successfully is use their draft assets to find real talent for this team. And it's disappointing that this team has continued to trade away picks in this mini spell post-championship when that is the best way for this team to find top-tier talent to add on to the pre-existing core. So that's the disappointment here for overall. And as much as it's not a great class, I wanted to inject talent in right away. So disappointed. There are cons, but there still are some pros here. I'd say less pros than cons, but there are pros here. Now, the future of the Raptors is in our hands. It's in the organization's hands. We are in complete control of our own destiny. The pick has conveyed. The Raptors will now have their pick regardless for 2025. They will have their pick regardless for 2026. And now they understand the situation with those picks. They have an opportunity to even trade their 2027 pick. So the Raptors have control of where they're going to be drafting now. And if they do feel so inclined to trade picks down the line to inject talent to this team, they now can trade any of their future draft picks, whereas previously they could not trade the 25 pick, the 26 pick, or the 2027 pick. So the Raptors, like I said, in control of their own destiny. There's some pros to that, but you would think and hope that the team coming into next year has a bit of fire within them. Hopefully Darko Rajakovic has settled into his role as an NBA head coach, and hopefully we can get started and put on a good season next year. That's what we're hoping for. Furthermore, with the results here, again, I'm still hoping that there is success next season, and there is still a decent position for the Raptors to find talent here. They're going to have the 19th overall pick, that's for sure. A chance to find talent there. They have the 31st overall pick, which will be the first pick on the second day of the NBA draft. There's still options here. Opportunity knocks now for the Raptors to try and move up themselves, package those two picks, and get themselves into a lottery position in this fashion. But we're in complete control of our own destiny. There's a certain peaceful element associated with that. But again, at the end of the day, I'm going to leave this one disappointed. I came in with hope, not expectation. And I am unfortunately going to leave this with disappointment. Not disappointed for the tank. It was the right move. But, a lot of us did suffer through that season. And it just kind of would have felt a lot better having looked back on watching that losing streak, the amount of negative records, infamous records set by the team this season. It would have been nice to know that that was all for something. But, aside from the developmental strides probably some of the players have taken, it's all in vain. So this is really this should really be the start of the new era for the Raptors. I think we kind of keep saying this, but this should really be the start. Blank slate, control of all of our picks. We have a core in place that we're comfortable with and confident in to build for the future. Hopefully, this is the beginning. We look back on this moment like, it's a brand new era for this team with or without the pick. Hopefully, we can get some positives. Hopefully, we continue to build on the development of guys like RJ Barrett quickly, Scotty Barnes, Grady Dick. Have a great season next year, and wherever we may end up, that's our draft pick. Don't have to worry about anything else. A certain bliss here, but again, final word to sum it all up, disappointed. But how y'all feeling? What are your expectations for the season? What are the next steps?